All right, well, in some other news, this week, the Inside the Ice House podcast dropped its marketing series, spotlighting leaders shaping the space's future and representing industries and companies, merging marketing into things like wealth management, artificial intelligence, and women's sports. Luz Corona, editor of Campaign US, joined host Lance Flynn to discuss how marketers and creators are benefiting from AI, yet remaining cautious when integrating the technology.
The above. I think we're at a point now where everyone's embracing AI. You know, a couple of years ago, everyone was kind of afraid to dip their toe into the pool, right? Like they're like, no, we're not going to let this hinder creativity. But now everyone knows it's not going anywhere, and you kind of just got to jump on the ship and figure out how you're going to use it, whether it's in your process or in your creative. That's what everyone is saying. Everyone is pretty much, the general consensus was that you have to use AI to keep up with the times, but with the human driving at the wheel. And that's how everyone is kind of approaching it. But I think there's still kind of a gap in how to use it effectively, right? Like everyone's trying to figure out how to use it in their process or just internally and things like that. But everyone's still kind of peering over to the side and how are they using it? How are they using it? Even down to like the prompts, you know? So everyone's embracing it, but with caution and still trying to figure it out, I think.
And next, Jordan Owoye, founder and managing partner of Owoye Capital, shared how he's using marketing to grow and connect with clients as his firm becomes a central force in wealth management.
Until we started to take marketing serious, regardless of our skill set and what we can offer, the business took a whole nother leap because of storytelling, because of letting people in. A lot of times, and I struggled with it initially years ago before going into, being fully independent and starting to market a little bit more intentionally. And we still have ways to go on that front. But in our industry, it's 2 + 2 = 4, right? You do your job, you do it well. You don't necessarily need to do the alternative, but you'll realize that people want to feel involved. People want to know who you are, what does your company, your firm stand for, and being able to tell an intentional story around that is powerful.
Glenn also spoke with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment founder and CEO Laura Correnti about the surging momentum and growing investment in women's sports. Let's take a listen.
They can't rest there. The amount of inbound, especially those of non-endemics. I think we've seen a ton of financial service brands who have come into the space, telco, tech, auto, et cetera. Now what we're starting to see, in our own backyard here in New York. I love some of the partnerships that the New York Liberty, for example, have been bringing to the forefront. Last year, Deep Blue Sports Entertainment brokered a deal with Bumble, the dating app, to talk about women making the first move. This year, we just brokered a partnership with Vagisil, first ever partnership for that brand in the sports arena. And so you're starting to see non-endemics, but those that are endemic to the female consumer, to the female athlete, come online in ways in which they are benefiting. So the space is getting crowded. The famous saying, yesterday's price is not today's price. So those that got in early cannot rest on that first mover designation. They need to be, all gas, no brakes, because the market is heating up.
Thanks to Luz Corona, Jordan Owoye, and Laura Correnti for joining Lance Flynn inside the Ice House podcast. Make sure to check out new episodes of the podcast, Inside the Ice House, the ETF Central podcast, and the NYSE's Market Storylines podcast. Wherever you listen, you can scan that QR code on your screen for more.